Alright, guys, so here's a little guide on which brand phone you should get. Now, there's a lot of arguments out there whether Apple or Samsung has the better firmware and it's just a better phone as a whole. And I'm here to tell you my perspective. Now, I hate both. They both suck. They're both pieces of Japanese, not even Japanese, Chinese at this point, communist pieces of garbage. Alright, that's how I see it. And here's why. Anyway, this phone at the time was like 250 or so dollars. Alright, this phone's a little bit older. I'm not sure when it left the factory. In fact, why don't we go on an adventure and, try it out? Let's see. Settings, 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 about phone. So as you can see, it's an older phone. It's pretty old. So I'm not sure if there's anything sensitive here. Um it's been out of service for like 4 years. And here's why it was out of service. My dad, he dropped this phone into a snowbank. All right? A snowbank. All right? So not only is there water inside of that, there's salt. And salt does nice wonders when it comes to electronics. Now, I mean that sarcastically because you get salt water on your phone's going to have a regulated lifetime basically. And it's just that with my Samsung, when I get it wet in the shower, uh it just doesn't run. It just starts doing literally everything else besides doing what it's supposed to do. And that's my laptop, by the way. Dell laptop. I stand by Dell. They're all great. Love Dell. Got some GeForce up, GTX up in here. But long story short, look at that. I think that's a fingerprint marker. I don't know. Could be. But long story short, this phone, it didn't run for a day or two, but then it dried off and started running. Now, every so often, I get advertisements for a new phone. Alright? On my phone. Like it'll say, oh yeah, trade in your phone and get $250 off your new one. Well, quite honestly, I don't care. And there's me filming it because this is my overall opinion on whether you should get Samsung or Apple. But now let's throw in a wild card, Motorola. I feel like Motorola is the superior model because Motorola. Let me take you back in time. Got my old phone out today. Let me see if this will power on. Could be out of gas. But anyway, this phone was mine for a very long time. I had it for like 3 years, and I decided it was time to move on. I think the battery could be dead. I don't know. But it's got a cool animation when you turn it on, but how well does it work? Well, for starters, the phone itself is tiny. It's basically a flat screen. It's like just a screen when it's out of the case, but Thanks to OtterBox, they give good protection. And here's my point. OtterBox, you know, the phones nowadays are made large, like this Motorola, which is the Droid Max 2. And the Droid Max 2 was a very fine phone because it was worth what it did, okay? It wasn't priced at $250 to have the specifications of 10 years ago, or more like 3 or 4 years ago. It had today's technology, but just less storage, just overall cheaper. Just everything about it was cheaper. That's what I love about Motorola. Their stuff is worth what you pay for. Nowadays, we've got Samsung and Apple killing each other in this giant tech war to see who's going to top in sales. And I figured that maybe whoever's watching this will kind of agree with my wild card that, people are marketing phones to you on the television because they want you to buy their product. Now, Motorola, they don't make too many ads, but I've got to say, they make the better phone. Alright. Their Androids are just wow. I've got to see what else Motorola makes because Motorola, they are a better company. They're just simply better. So, there you have it. Motorola versus Samsung versus Apple. Now, I'm probably going to name this video something clickbaity, like why Samsung and Apple both suck. But that would be too far off. But you know what? Let me throw it in, just so people can't say I clickbait and stuff. Apple and Samsung both suck because they're worrying about they just overcharge for what they are, in my opinion. Now, there are people who probably engineer games on some phones, but I don't think that happens too often. And if it is a game, it's not going to be a game like Fallout 4 or Fallout New Vegas or something like that. Because that's just far too heavy of a game for a cell phone to make. And besides, what was this thing for made anyway? What was it made for? Was it made to watch full-length movies on, or was it made to make calls? And that's where Apple and Samsung tap in. They're like, you know what? We're going to make a phone that costs $1,000, and then we're going to release it, and then we're going to overrate the thing, and then we're going to make a new model next year. All right? Then we're going to drop $300, $400 off of the price of this one to make the new phone look better, even though all we did was add a camera. Meanwhile, this thing, single camera, one flasher. You don't need 17 cameras on a phone unless you're a photographer. That's literally all they do. They just add more and more cameras. And that's why I love Motorola. They make a cheaper alternative. They're cheaper than Samsung and Apple. All right, all of their phones. At least most of their phones. But you get more value with Motorola. That's my experience. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. This is why Samsung and Apple both suck, and why Motorola is the better phone. Anyway, have a nice day, guys. Bye.